welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Fred McCauley and Russell Howard, Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Greg Proops. We start with a round called This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Fred, which category would you like?
Home news, please.
OK, the category is home news. The answer is 1,433 days. What is the question?
Is that the number of days it'll take a sobbing Carol Vorderman to watch reruns of Countdown?
Is it at what point do libraries abandon fines and introduce hitmen?
Is it after the recent bankruptcy? How long before Kerry Katona's family eat anything but chicken drumsticks?
If the Russians say they will withdraw today, when will they actually withdraw?
What size gap in Gary Glitter's CV is filled with the entry, travelling in Asia?
Is it? How long does it take Stephen Hawking to sing Bohemian Rhapsody?
Is it how long does it take my nan to send a text?
Is it, I am the leap year killer, when will I strike next? It's how long till the next Olympics?
It's essentially it. Well done, Frankie. Very good. The question I was looking for is, after the official handover in Beijing on Sunday, how long to the London 2012 Olympics? The 4-year countdown began as Boris Johnson took the flag in the Bird's Nest Stadium during the closing ceremony. Look at him. Could he not have closed the button on his jacket? And then there's a bit where he put his hand in. No one uses those pockets for hands.
Of all the things, right, that I knew he didn't know how to do, I now know he doesn't know how to wave a flag either. The Chinese thought that he was the London Olympic mascot. Oh, an albino Labrador. Good choice.
What's lovely is the one time we come together as a nation, because we're all sat there watching it going, don't do the voice, you know? Oh, there should have been like a press the red button to go inside Boris's mind. Wouldn't that be amazing? Just to hear him go, la-di-da-di-doo, da-da-da-da, it's like finger stouts again, I miss Granny Butter, la-di-da-di-da.
Watching him trying not to make a gaffe surrounded by 200 different races was like watching Mel Gibson getting drunk at a bar mitzvah.
I mean, the only thing that was a bit weird that your image for London was an exploding red bus.
The original plan was that they have a subway train come, and then dancers formed barriers. A British hurdler leapt over the barriers and got shot 5 times in the head.
It was like a transformer that had been designed by Alan Titchmarsh. Do you know what I mean? One minute it was a bus, then it was a hedge, you know.
At least it wasn't a bendy bus, then there really would have been carnage, wouldn't there? Because they've actually got that little thing on the back of bendy buses. Have you seen them? This bus is 18 metres long. Don't tell us, tell the bloody driver. He hasn't got a clue.
I thought it was quite curious, you know? I mean, that's how England sees the world. Wouldn't you rather have a red bus and people with brawlers than, like, 2 drunk yobs beating the shit out of each other outside a pub or whatever?
Oh, well, they tried that. You know, that was plan B, all right, just to have a simulated knife fight. But there's even a bit where Leona Lewis was being raised up and the dress was unfurling behind her, and she looked more and more like that thing your granny would put over toilet rolls. Just to protect you from the view of toilet rolls.
What was weird about that was that the rest of the world, you know, Leona Lewis and the rest of the world is 48 feet tall now. She's enormous, and the rest of the world must be thinking, well, if they've got someone like that, why didn't they use her in the high jump? She could have won every event, a hurdles, a 50-metre swimming. There would have been no swimming. She would have just had to fall forwards into the pool and touch the other end. She would have broke it. It was just ridiculous, the whole thing.
Well, I was hoping, you know, when the bus opened up, that there would just be a stray tramp in there. Just going,
Or it's just Beckham sat beside some nutter who's telling him that he invented Tupperware.
that would have been brilliant, wouldn't it?
But if you're going to get Beckham, right, get him to take a trademark free kick that sets off some fireworks or something. He just humped the ball into the crowds. It hit a dancer.
He actually, the crowd of 10,000 people, he almost missed the crowd. The crowd of 10,000.
I'd have liked to have seen him kick his wife into the crowd.
Did you see
This Chinese volunteer caught it, and you could tell he just looked at his mates with that look that went, eBay?
Bex lives in Los Angeles now. Wouldn't it have been more authentic if they'd pulled out a gun and just did a drive-by on the crowd?
The best thing, though, did you see the speech that Boris Johnson gave when he said that ping pong was coming home? And we were all sat there going, please don't say you found a cleaner. Do you know what I mean? It was that... It turned out we were all wrong, and that ping pong apparently was invented in England, but it was called whiff-waff. And it was called whiff-waff because that was the noise that the bats made in the air.
It was a whole round of QI.
Well, to be honest, what I was thinking, he's the mayor of London simply because he was popular on a panel show. Frankie, you're going to be PM. Let's be honest.
Don't applaud, you have some very tough years ahead of you.
I wouldn't be that embarrassed about Boris Johnson. I'm from California. Arnold Schwarzenegger is our governor. We went that extra step of electing a fictional character from the movies to be our chief. Because he fooled the predator by putting mud on his face. Not a lot of chief executives would think of that. Boris Johnson would be a glistening skull gleaming on the predator's trophy shelf right now.
But do you reckon, though, because it was called whiff-waff because of the noise, do you reckon he calls all other sports by similar names? Tennis, or as I call it, thwack doink, or diving whoosh splash man.
Well, how did the last week of the Olympics pan out?
Well, we had the mess up in the relay, which could have actually been worse. I don't know if you've ever seen the havoc that someone having an erection can cause in a relay race. Actually got off quite lightly. The thing one really said about Rebecca Adlington is that she looks pretty weird. She looks like someone who's looking at themselves in the back of a spoon. And then... When she arrived back on the flight, she met her boyfriend. Did you see her boyfriend? He was really attractive. He was like a male model. So, from that, I have deduced that Rebecca Adlington is very dirty. I mean, if you just take into account how long she can hold her breath.
You're thinking she may be
Crazy! Sitting at home for the first weekend after the game, medals jangling in Mansfield, new shoes on, loving the new kind of look of the place, like whatever. And then, oh, I haven't seen Mock the Week in about 4 weeks' time. I wonder who they're tearing it. That was a brief...
He's got a point, I'm dirty.
Can I just point out something, though? There's a mispronunciation been going on with our leading cyclist. It's actually, because he's Scottish, he's actually known as Chris. Oi! Come back on my bike! Bastard!
Did you see on the jumbo jet, because we did so well, we had a gold nose? And I love the idea that all the drug cheats had to go home in a plane that had a red nose with just white bits on it like that.
I like the way as well they got them all to come off the plane in the order of how many medals they'd won.
Yeah.
That was horrible. Paula Radcliffe was probably in an overhead locker or something.
How does Gordon Brown want future medal hopes to prepare for 2012?
Oh, he's making it more competitive in schools. That's the name, isn't it?
What he's actually said is he wants every pupil to have 5 hours of sport a week before 2012. And let me just tell him, a week before 2012 is leaving it far too late. And 5 hours of sport is frankly not going to be enough, is it?
How is it going to help us to become more competitive? How does that address the real concerns of Britain in any way? In 20 years' time, when a largely submerged London has been attacked by a platoon of Al-Qaeda's jihad scuba warriors, will it really help that we're slightly better at basketball?
Luckily, you'll be in the highest office in the land at that time.
Citizens of New Atlantis, we must self-destruct. Prime Minister Boyle, you say that in every crisis. This time I mean it.
At the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Fred and Andy. Now we play a round called Musicalifragilisticexpialidocious. This game involves Greg, Andy, Frankie and Fred, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners of the team I judge and produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is health. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
Leslie Ash. Now, she's just got compensation, didn't she? Because she got MRSA. The reason she was in hospital, right, was apparently she'd punctured a lung and broken 2 ribs during energetic sex. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm thinking she was doing it wrong. If somebody said to me, would you like to have sex, but it could end up in you puncturing your lung, I think I'd go, oh, you go ahead, I'll sort myself out.
Okay, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is George Bush. Who wants to come in?
Oh, I'll go. Well, what can I say about George Bush? He's doing a tremendous job and he's enormously popular right now. In the last poll in the United States, he came in just behind testicular cancer. He's the only president I can remember who wears an American flag pin on his lapel. Why? So he can remember what country he's in charge of? Ladies and gentlemen of America, he's always banging on about 9/11, right? 9/11, 9/11. Or, as the rest of the world knows it, 11/9. We're the only people who date that way. America's so arrogant because we put the month first. We think everybody knows what we mean. Imagine how perplexing that is to people in France. 9/11. What happened on November 9th? That was a good day. I got a hand job. Why are they crying all the time? Thank you.
Great crew. Okay, that leaves us with Frankie and Fred. Let's spin the wheel. The next topic is modern men. Who wants to come in on that? Grab a collie.
There's a trend for modern young men now to get waxed. I did recently have my legs waxed. I have to say it was for charity. And my pals were saying, have you ever had that done before, Macaulay? And I'm going, no. Well, it could be painful. So I went along. I was ticket number 14. There were 13 ladies in front of me getting their legs waxed. And I was watching them with interest. And there seemed to be no bother at all. The wax is going on. It's kind of, oh, Joanne. What is it, Tess? Who's picking the kids up? Oh, the old pair will get them. Nothing to it, I think. I got up there. The wax was on. I'll never walk again! What I didn't know is that women, when they're getting their legs waxed, have epidurals beforehand. I mean, I'm not tempted, you know, to shave other parts of my anatomy, you know. I've been lonely and fed up in hotel rooms, but I've never once thought, I think I'll get the sharpest thing in my toilet bag out and apply it to the wrinkliest part of my anatomy. And I'm not talking about my elbows.
Grab a collie. Okay, let's see what we've been left with for Frankie. Let's spin the wheel. Children.
What an unbelievably sinister photograph. Don't worry, this is light-hearted whimsy. I've got a wee baby now, he's 9 months. I'm starting to get a bit fucking sick of him, to be honest. I went to the bath, and going to the bath, it really does bring home the wonder, the miracle, I suppose, that is contraception. Seriously, don't go. It's like watching the deleted scenes from Platoon. I got a wee daughter now, she's 4, and the other day, this is true, we're sitting having breakfast, and my daughter goes, Daddy, what's the best thing in the world? So I didn't even have to think about it, right? I said, darling, you're the best thing in the world. Didn't even have to think about it. It's definitely you. And she sat there for a bit, and then she went, for me, it's sausages.
Ladies and gentlemen, round the points go to Frankie and Greg. Our next round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of America's former power couple, Bill and Hillary Clinton. Well, what does CADC stand for?
Is it cheerleaders' arse distracts Clintons?
I think they're saying goodbye to Barack Obama. Cheerio and don't call.
Clinton's assassination dreams continue.
Clinton announces deepening chlamydia.
How about Clintons accept defeat childishly?
How would you do it? Would you just go, oh, you're the winner, I'm Barack Obama.
Is it cast?
Is it chimpanzee amazes drugged couple? It's just like that. Oh, and they're like,
That would amaze me. I'm sorry, no drugs involved, but that would amaze if a chimp went, oh, you go. That is one hot chimp.
Come on, that would amaze you. If they can train them to move a piano.
Or make tea. Then
how much money would you love to go to London Zoo just to see one day a pole dancer training a monkey how to dance? Let's do it. We've got clout.
when he's in the high top of that, when you're premier.
To be honest, that is number 1 on the list.
Is it Clinton's address Democratic Convention?
It is, of course. Well done, Hugh. There you go. The answer I was looking for was Clinton's address Democratic Convention. This is the news that Hillary and Bill Clinton have both separately delivered speeches at the 2008 Democratic Convention taking place this week in Denver. In her speech, Hillary called for supporters to back Barack Obama in his quest to become the next president of the USA.
Do you know what was weird, though, was that she did it in this orange sort of jumpsuit, though, which suggested to me that the words had been extracted under torture.
It's very exciting to see Bill Clinton again because you guys might remember he was the last elected American president. After the last two elections, I'm surprised Haiti didn't invade us to install a democracy.
We're talking about Obama being under pressure at the convention, aren't you? You're thinking, is there an easier gig in the world? I mean, there's nothing that he could say that wouldn't earn him a standing ovation. He could stand up and go, I killed a tramp once, it made me feel horny. he could put his hand under his armpit and fart the theme tune to Cagney and Lacey.
But before we get to that, they are in the process of possibly electing a black leader. You know, next mayor here went to Eton. You know, so it's not as if it's like, oh, look at them, they're so backward over there.
There's loads of really rubbish satire as well. I was reading on the internet the other day that some guy went, he's never going to win, it's called the White House. And you're like, it's a ridiculous point to make. By that token, only Martians can work for Greenpeace. And, you know, you have to be a Smurf to work for Ribena. It's ridiculous. You know?
A large proportion, a significant, possibly, you know, enough Americans won't put a cross next to a black man unless it's on fire. So, wow.
Dara,
I'm not supporting that, by the way.
You got to remember, it's the United States. You know, people are like, a black guy? You can't have a black guy. He's all articulate and well-spoken, and he wears a suit and he's written 2 books. I ain't never read a book in my life. I just play Xbox all day long and eat Cheetos and beat my sister while I'm having sex with her because my team lost, and, you know, people flip out. And they,
All I can say, Greg, is, would you like a job as Chancellor of the Exchequer? Do you know that 12% of Americans think that Obama's a Muslim?
Yeah.
12%, and now he's got Biden as his vice president candidate, so the ticket is now Obama-Biden. Could they get more of the letters of Osama bin Laden?
Did you see in the hotels every night they're leaving little speeches that Obama has given on the pillows in all the hotels in Denver? Imagine if they did that for the Labour conference. It'd be fantastic. Just one of Brown's. I regularly used to look at photos of my dad's trip to his...
What is it with these white supremacists? I didn't say that.
Yeah, they're all for supremacy. They want, they're screaming for more supremacy for us whites. They were central casting. 2 men called Cletus got picked up with a gun in the boot of their car.
And Mr. Adolf.
Yes, Sean Adolf was the name of the guy. You know, is there anything more guaranteed to possibly ring an alarm bell on the street? So your name is what? Adolf? That's an interesting name. I've not heard that since. Wait a minute.
Do you not think it's weird that we report American news as if it's our news?
Yeah.
Do you think NBC News are sitting there going, breaking news about Nick Clegg? The Americans think that Tony Blair rules Britain because he's the Queen's boyfriend?
In other news, what unusual creatures have been spotted around Britain recently?
Oh, jellyfish.
Jellyfish, yes.
It's a jellyfish.
Yeah.
Jellyfish.
There are jellyfish off the coast of Worthing. And I don't know if you know this, Dara, but the way to cure a jellyfish sting is to piss on it. I think a lot of perverts are going to be congregating around the Sussex coast with people going, hey, what are you doing? A jellyfish stung you. You threw it at me.
And it's not even it's just a jelly. You just threw a jelly at me. Stop throwing jelly at people and then urinating on them.
Imagine how lucky you'd feel, right, if you saw a bloke who was asleep on the beach and he kind of, you know, had a vicious scar and he was like that and you started weeing on it and it turned out it was a birthmark. That would be bad luck, would it not? Although, to be honest...
It would be a tremendous episode of Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about the state of Britain's beaches, aren't they? But actually, do you want them to clean up Britain's beaches? Because what will happen if you clean up the beaches? Families will start going there, walking their pit bulls and slapping their kids. At least at the minute, I can put on a wetsuit, go and sit in the turds and be on my own.
I don't know if you've seen the forthcoming episodes of Wish You Were Here, but look forward to that greatly.
What other creatures are
I'll
there?
tell you what there is. There's a shark off the coast of Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Have you seen him?
No.
And there's a real danger there because if it eats enough Scottish people, it'll die from cholesterol poisoning.
You know, they were conducting the search for the shark from sea, air and land. Keep me down for the land shift. Yeah, we're over there somewhere.
He's not been spotted in Tesco. Over.
There's apparently also been an increase in wasps, and like they were going to sort of destroy a whole group of wasps, and then there was animal rights people who'd complained, you know, but they're wasps. As far as I'm concerned, right, wasps, right, You can have as many cosmetics tested on wasps as you like by Revlon.
Someone who works for Revlon could apply lipstick to a wash. They are skills. That is impressive. Looks good. Sell it.
Thinking about the poor wasp that has to go back to the hive with a lipstick on, yeah. 10,000 other wasps going, have you seen Dave?
This is all happening because of global warming, isn't it? So animals' migration patterns are changing.
Yeah.
But on the bright side, wildlife programme ratings are going to go through the roof. You know, Bill Oddie going, let's look at these nesting badgers. Oh, this puma's going to fuck it up. Look at that.
It's got Kate Humble in its jaws. Nothing can save her now. Kate, any final words? At the end of that round, the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Greg. Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can all make your way to the performance area, please. I call it ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely greetings cards.
Congratulations, you're 18 on a list of 20 people I'm going to kill.
My heart goes out in sympathy. I know your life is torn. I can't believe your dear, sweet mum caught you watching all that porn.
Congratulations on conquering your drug and alcohol dependency. We're having a party to celebrate, but you can't come.
I know you're green, I've done my bit. This card is made of recycled shit.
Get well soon. P.S. I know it's terminal, but they didn't have a card for that.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm locked up in Broadmoor and thinking of you.
Thinking of you at this difficult time has given me an erection.
You're moving! We've repossessed your house.
Congratulations on passing your test. You have HIV.
OK. The next topic is things you didn't hear at the Olympics.
I am the little girl from the opening ceremony. This is my real voice.
That gymnast is so supple. If my wife could do that, we'd still be together.
Next, the rhythmic gymnastics. You might want to start beating out your own rhythm at home.
That English track team is awesome!
And it's gold for Ireland.
Well, that'll be low marks for synchronicity, but high marks for execution. Clean shot to the head, backwards off the board, pool full of blood, magnificent.
Next, over to Gabby Logan, who's going to tell us whether or not she's a transvestite.
And it.
Go again, man, go again. Do it.
And there's fuck all for Ireland.
No, I'm not letting you off for the last Ireland joke. You're not getting on again for the rest of the show. You are not doing another one for the rest of the show, all right?
You've just been...
Oh, let's look at the clock. It's more interesting than the show jumping.
The one thing we're all thinking during the Olympics, doesn't Claire Balding look like Eddie Izzard?
Nobody can touch this Russian gymnast, except their coach and their uncle.
And here comes...
Well, what a morning. We've got medals in the Yingling, Tiddly and Po.
Chinese athlete with number 36 in his chest. That means he's a chicken chow mein.
And here...
And the French have 4 faults: their language, their food, their underarm hair, and the fact that they are French.
A surprise in the canoeing, where the British athlete has gone missing.
It was off I heard the buzzer. that I realised there was one thing I hadn't heard at the Olympics, right, was fuck it.
The end of that round, the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Greg. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Greg Proops. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Fred Macaulay and Russell Howard. Thank you for watching. I'm Darragh Breen. Good night.
Never mind the Buzzcocks is here on BBC Two in half an hour. But first, Ashburn United are looking for a new coach and there are more than a few takers. New Comedy The Cup next.